Hello, everyone. Welcome to the College to Career Virtual College Fair. This is the healthcare session. We're excited to have you participating in this event today. We have some fantastic schools here with us. My name is Sarah. I will be your facilitator for today. And before we get started, a few housekeeping items. This is a webinar. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. You can use the Q&A button, and we encourage you to do so on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time throughout the presentation. If you have a question to a specific institution, you can list that institution's name in the question, or it'll be a general question, and all of our presenters will get to those. This is just one of different sessions happening, so we encourage you to check back. And this presentation is being recorded and will be available at college2career.org. I'd now like to turn it over to our first presenter, which is Pacific University, Oregon.
Awesome, thank you. Pull this up here. Great. So welcome everyone. My name is Chandler Patterson. I am one of the admissions counselors here at Pacific University, Oregon. Thank you all for being here. I'm excited to share more about Pacific. So Pacific University is located here in Forest Grove, Oregon. So we are about 30 minutes from downtown Portland, Oregon. Really easy to get into the city, try new foods, go shopping, utilize the public transportation system, but also really easy to get out into nature. We're about an hour from the Oregon coast where you actually can go surfing. It's a bit chilly, but you can do it. There's beautiful hiking along the coast as well as in the Tillamook Forest. And then we're also located about 2 hours from Mount Hood. So if you enjoy skiing or snowboarding, really awesome trails there for that as well. We are about 15 minutes from what we call the Silicon Forest. So students like to take advantage of our location and proximity to a variety of organizations and corporations for research and internship opportunities. The Oregon Health and Sciences University is located in downtown Portland. So also really great connections there too. So we are a small private liberal arts university. You can see the variety of academic programs that we offer. We have 65 different majors, minors, and pre-professional tracks. Focusing in kind of on that healthcare, you can see in the bottom right, these pre-professional track options that we have available. So it is common for students to come to Pacific with that healthcare track in mind, but then still work towards that bachelor's degree here, preparing for graduate school. So for our students that are kind of on that path to a graduate level healthcare program, we have what's called our Advantage Scholar program here at Pacific. And essentially this is a preparation program for undergraduate students to participate in that then guarantees them an interview into the Pacific graduate program of their choice. So we have physical therapy, occupational therapy, physician's assistant studies, speech therapy, optometry, pharmacy. There's a whole variety of programs that students can work towards. So the really great thing about this Advantage Scholar program is that there are kind of three main years that students will go through. So in the first year, you'll take what's called the Passport to Health Professions class. This will expose you to a variety of healthcare workers in different professions. So one week there may be a physician that comes in, the next week it might be a physical therapist, the following week a pharmacist, and you'll really hear about the day-to-day work that they do in that profession. In the second year, you'll actually engage in some clinical work. So shadowing people in these healthcare professions, really seeing what it looks like. Is this something you're comfortable with and excited about, or is it maybe not really the right fit for you? And then in your third year in the Advantage Scholar program, we will actually help you prepare for those graduate school applications, make sure you're not missing anything, ensure that you're prepared for the different applications and interview processes that you're interested in. As I mentioned, kind of being in the hub of Portland, we are, there's really great access to lots of internship and research opportunities. I'll touch a little bit more on this, but our professors are really awesome about helping students get that experience that they're looking for. So you're going to have support in that Advantage Scholar program, both from your advisors as well as your professors in gaining the experience that you need in order to apply to the programs of your choice. Students at Pacific are really busy and active both inside and outside the classroom. So we want to make sure you are a well-rounded student getting to experience the things that you are interested in studying, but also the things you enjoy outside the classroom. So that includes over 70 different student clubs and organizations, a variety of performing arts groups. So you don't have to major in music, although it's common for us to have, say a kinesiology major with a dance minor. So students are really great about kind of picking and choosing the areas of interest that they enjoy most and pairing that with their area of study. We are an NCAA Division III varsity, or we offer 24 NCAA Division III varsity sports. But if you are interested in participating in sports, maybe on a less competitive level, we also offer intramural and club opportunities as well. So there are a variety of scholarships that I want to ensure that you know about when applying to Pacific. So when you apply to Pacific University, we will actually be evaluating your application for admission for academic merit scholarships. And so we are state blind when it comes to awarding these academic merit scholarships. Everyone applying to Pacific has the same opportunity to earn these scholarships regardless of what state you're coming from. And then I would also love for you all to attend one of our senior preview scholarship days. So these happen every fall, each week throughout the fall, and we have in-person and virtual options available. And just by attending this event, you'll actually earn a $1,000 scholarship per year for all 4 years. And during this event, you'll have the opportunity to connect with current students as well as staff and faculty and learn more about what it would be like to be a student on kind of that health professions pre-professional track here at Pacific. We also have a variety of special interest and talent award scholarships that we would love to have you apply for as well. Again, my name is Chandler. Please feel free to reach out to me at any time. We would love to have you visit campus, and I will also put my contact information in the chat. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pacific University, Oregon. Next up, we have Clarkson University.
Hello, my name is Sue Bynum, and I represent Clarkson University. Clarkson is in the beautiful college town of Potsdam in northern New York. See a great picture of it here. We're about 20 miles from the Canadian border and about 2.5 hours north of Syracuse, New York. I'm actually a Clarkson alum. I live now in the San Francisco area. And after working in industry for years, I now work for admissions to promote interest in Clarkson for California high school students and counselors. I think Clarkson is a great option for California students interested in engineering, technology, business, and other career-focused programs, but looking for a smaller, more supportive environment. Clarkson has only about 3,000 undergrads and about 1,000 grad students with a 10-to-1 student-faculty ratio and a 92% retention rate. Students actually apply to the university, not a specific school or major, and none of Clarkson's programs are impacted or limited. This really builds a cooperative, supportive academic environment and provides more flexibility for students to customize their programs or change majors even. Clarkson offers undergraduate programs in our School of Engineering, School of Business, and School of Arts and Science. I'm going to share more detail about our arts and science and specific health science offerings on subsequent slides. But I did want to share that about half of our students pursue one of 8 engineering majors in the School of Engineering. In addition, we offer 12 engineering minors and concentrations in areas like biomedical engineering for students that want more specialization. I also want to mention that our School of Business offers majors in global supply chain, business analytics, and innovation entrepreneurship, and students can also add a business minor if they're interested. All of our majors require an internship, co-op, or research project, as we want students to get hands-on experience in their field of study. We encourage students to talk to faculty about research opportunities even as freshmen. Here's a full list of the majors that Clarkson offers through our School of Arts and Science. We have traditional math and science majors, including computer science, physics, and psychology. Biology, chemistry, and biomolecular science are actually popular majors for students that enroll in our pre-health professional tracks. Those students also may major in chemical or mechanical engineering. We offer a wide range of pre-professional health tracks like pre-med, pre-dentistry, pre-vet through our new School of Health Science, where we assign each student a second advisor to prepare them for a graduate medical program. We also now offer direct entry options into Clarkson's physical therapy, occupational therapy, and physician assistant graduate programs. Our new Lewis School of Health Science really provides advantages like personalized attention, early grad admission opportunities, cadaver lab, and health coach program to be able to meet regularly with healthcare professionals. We also do medical research in areas like biosensors, stem cells, and regenerative medicine. And lastly, we offer some other relevant majors at Clarkson or minors at Clarkson that you might be interested in, like environmental health science or, again, biomedical engineering. I want to share with you a little bit about student life at Clarkson. We offer a wide range of study abroad programs, as well as our Adirondack semester in nearby Adirondack Park through our Institute for Sustainable Environment. Being in Northern New York, we're a big hockey school where we have both men and women Division I hockey teams, and home hockey games are always a big event on campus. We have also 9 Division III sports for both men and women, including basketball, swimming, lacrosse, alpine, and Nordic skiing. Clarkson has over 200 clubs, intramural sports, and tons of activity on campus. Our biggest club is the Outing Club that coordinates outdoor activities for students on campus. 88% of students stay on campus all 4 years, and about 15% are involved in Greek life. And yes, we've had students on campus in New York all through last year and the COVID pandemic, with really the cooperation of the students and campus staff to test, quarantine, and vaccinate so that we minimize any impact. We actually even had a groundwater testing program so we could quickly identify any COVID outbreaks, do some follow-up testing, and make sure the affected individuals were quarantined quickly. So I think it'd make a big difference to make sure that students could be on campus last year. Here's an overview of our admissions information. Our acceptance rate is 66% with an average GPA of 3.6. Standardized tests are again optional for fall 2022, but incoming students had an average SAT of 1240 and ACT of 27. Clarkson offers both need-based aid through FAFSA as well as merit-based aid based on students' application information. 95% of students receive financial aid, and actual tuition can be very competitive with the California state schools. You can apply on the Common App or directly on the Clarkson website where the application fee is waived. Lastly, I'm really proud to say that our placement rate for Clarkson grad is 97% with an average starting salary for the class of 2020 of over $64,000. So the Career Center does a really great job of working with each student on their job search. And this is my contact information. I'll also post it in the chat. I'm going to have some links on here for some more information from admissions on our virtual tour options and the Clarkson YouTube channel. Thanks so much for listening. And again, I will post my contact information and links for requesting more information on the chat.
Thank you, Sue. Next up, we have University of Waterloo.
Thanks so much. I'm just going to quick pull up my presentation here. Okay, and while I'll do that, I can also introduce myself. So my name is Shannon, and I am an international recruitment specialist at the University of Waterloo, and I'm also a graduate from the university. And before we begin, I would also like to acknowledge that the University of Waterloo is on the territory of the neutral Anishinaabe and Haudenosaunee people, and we are working towards restoring a balanced relationship and fostering an environment of belonging on student for all of our campus, and it is nationally in Canada Truth and Reconciliation Day, so we're doing that nationwide as well. The University of Waterloo is located on that red dot in the city of Waterloo in southwestern Ontario in Canada. And it's about an hour from Toronto. We're along the Tech Corridor, which is known as the Silicon Valley of the North. And we're about a 45-minute drive to the Toronto Pearson International Airport, where we do have transportation that comes right onto campus to the airport. So it's easy to get back and forth that way as well. It is a really student-friendly city. There are 3 post-secondary institutions and lots of things happening for students. And your student card is a bus pass that gets you all around the city and surrounding cities for free as well that way too. In general, Canada offers world-class education. We have really generous study and work permits that allow you to work in the country 3 months after you graduate, or 3 years after you graduate as well. And education is really affordable compared to other top universities around the world too. In general, Waterloo is known for innovation. We spent 28 consecutive years as Canada's most innovative university, according to Maclean's magazine. And we've also been named #1 in Canada for hands-on experiential learning and employer-student connections as well. So that goes across all of our over 100 programs that are broken down into the 6 faculties of arts, engineering, environment, health, mathematics, and science. But today I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the programs that we have that can lead you to the different health pathways that are on the screen there. So if you're considering a health profession in medicine, rehabilitation, or pharmacy, Waterloo is a great place because you're learning from top professors, and we have world-renowned research and hands-on education here too. So along with our undergrad programs that can lead to the following occupations, we also do have a professional school of pharmacy and optometry. Our pharmacy school is the only cooperative education pharmacy school in Canada where you're getting paid work experience along with your studies. And if you do your undergraduate degree at the University of Waterloo in science, you can apply to our pharmacy program after 2 years to get your Doctor of Pharmacy, and we will also give you a Bachelor of Science. If you're coming from another school after those 2 years, you are just not completing your Bachelor of Science if you decide to come that way. Our School of Optometry is Canada's only English-speaking school of optometry program, and that's available for you to apply after 3 years of undergraduate study with required courses as well. So on the website that I have linked there, it's another great place for you to go check. We'll list all of our undergraduate programs that will get you into those related professions afterwards as well. So I do encourage you to check those out. And those are all in our Faculty of Health, which is really built upon programs that help improve the quality of life of others. So this is one student example. Her name is Kelsey, and she was a kinesiology co-op student, and she knew she wanted to get into medicine. So when she was a student, she volunteered in our anatomy lab where you get hands-on experience working with cadavers right from your very first year. She was a TA. She worked in a WellFit program to help rehabilitate cancer patients and Hearty Hearts for cardiac rehabilitation. And all of these experiences helped her not only get into medical school, but helped her to do really well and feel confident in her clinical placements as well. And then our other programs that you can study are within the Faculty of Science. You'll want to look to the life science programs for these. And this is one of our life science students, Deep, who's in biomedical science, and he's interested in going into cosmetic dentistry. So he decided to use his summers to work for a dentist clinic to help gain that experience to get into dentistry afterwards. And it really just shows you how that degree can help you get those opportunities to propel you forward afterwards too. You can also study in our co-op education program, which includes up to 2 years of paid internship jobs where you work in 4 to 6 different jobs and have access to over 7,000 employers all over the world that hire Waterloo students. And it's a good way to test out different health related careers and see what you're interested in studying before you go on to further education as well. And many students do get into entrepreneurship. We have one of Canada's most productive startup incubators and many resources across campus to help start your ideas and to get funding for them to up to $50,000 each year. We've had students create even machines called velometers to help test your vitamin and mineral levels with just the prick of your finger to get a drop of blood. So if you are interested in learning more, you can click on this link to sign up to find out more about all of our admission requirements, all the different courses as well, and stay connected to current students. And this is our all of our social media as well, and my email address, which I'll also put into the chat afterwards if you have more questions. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Next up, we have Alaska Pacific University.
Right, welcome. And let me just get my screen up here and we'll be all set and ready to go. All right, hopefully you guys are seeing that. So thanks for joining us today, everyone. My name is Amy. I'm Assistant Director of Admissions here at Alaska Pacific University. And before we get started, I too also just wanted to take a moment to recognize that I'm joining you today from Anchorage and also where our campus is located, which is in Anchorage, Alaska, which is on the traditional homelands of the Dena'ina people. And so I wanted to thank them for their stewardship of the lands before us. So, like I said, APU, we're located in Anchorage, Alaska. And Anchorage is kind of the center hub for the state. Alaska is a very huge state, but it's kind of the central hub. So what's really great about that is kind of all of our major hospitals, everybody across the state tends to come into Anchorage for all their medical appointments, and kind of the best access to resources would be located here. And our particular campus is also located in what we call the UMed district, which is, again, that kind of central hub of all the big medical providers here in town. So Providence Medical Center, the Alaska Native Medical Center, and Alaska Native Tribal Health Consortium, which we have a partnership with for all of our nursing practical placements, clinical placements, which I'll talk about here in a minute. So we're a very small campus. We have about 550 students total, about a 7-to-1 student professor teacher ratio. We have on-campus housing for students, so those of you guys who want to come, and definitely our nursing program isn't available fully online, so you would be coming to campus to finish your degree program. About 93% of our students receive financial aid and scholarships, which I'll highlight here in a second. And then we are an Alaska Native American Indian serving institution. So this is a quick snapshot of our programs. Feel free grab a picture of this with your phones if you want, but I'm just gonna highlight a few of our health sciences programs. So all of our majors happen under 3 institutes. And so for us, the health programs are listed under our Institute of Culture and Environment. And so we have our Bachelor's of Health Sciences, which has a few different concentrations, kind of pre-health, kind of our pre-med, pre-PA concentrations, pre-nursing. So anybody wishing to get into the nursing program, kind of working on their prerequisite classes, behavioral health and healthcare management. So the nursing pathway, we have that kind of working on your prerequisites under the health sciences, and then the associate's degree program, or the ADN, and then the RN to BSN bridge program for obtaining your Bachelor's of Science in Nursing. We have some health occupations, different certificate and associate's degrees. Our counseling psychology degree, which has our bachelor's, master's, and doctorate program. And then another one that is very huge in our state and fairly new to us, but is environmental public health. So kind of working with the built environment and the health and impacts that it has on communities and populations that you might be serving. So one of the things, actually, just kind of back up with our nursing program that's really, really important to us is kind of a little bit different than some of the other nursing programs that we have here in our state, is focused on cultural responsibility, cultural safety. And so that's kind of a key cornerstone of our nursing programs and all of our health programs, is looking at how it's affecting the community, the Alaska Native community, communities at large. So even students who maybe if you're moving out of Anchorage, but working on that cultural responsibility. Our previous president, who was also a physician when we kind of created our nursing program, would always say that a lot of times some of those conflicts that came up between patients and providers, a lot of times would you feel that it kind of boiled down to that, not understanding some of those cultural differences. And so that's one of the things that we work really closely, having our partnership and our clinical placements with Alaska Native Tribal Health Center, or Alaska Native Medical Center, where students are able to really put that into practice and give the best level of care and provide to their patients. So that's something that's kind of built in all of their coursework, whether it's on like postpartum depression, or they're working on any level of the program, it always has some of those cultural responsibility pieces built in. So, oops, go back. Our admissions requirements, that was, it's just an online application. It's very simple. We don't have letters of recommendation or essays or anything like that. So it's just a test blind. We don't require the SAT or ACTs. I'm just submitting your official transcripts. And then we have a lot of different financial aid and scholarships that are available for students. We don't do in-state, out-of-state tuition, so it's going to be just one flat sort of rate for 12 to 18 credits per semester. Great scholarships for filling out the FAFSA. Merit scholarships are just based off of your high school GPA. And this is our kind of social media information. So feel free to catch up and see what our students are doing. Feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much. Next up, we have University of Illinois, Chicago.
All right. We thank you so much for joining us today, and I hope you can hear me okay. I am going to share this screen. Bear with me 2 seconds. All right, so my name is Nita. Happy to see you, and I'm happy to manage West Coast admissions for USC. This little QR code allows you to get information, but I'm going to share my contact info. So very briefly, we are located in the heart of Chicago, not just snow. We have beaches, lots of fun, theater, food. US healthcare students are the leaders of the next generation. You're very much needed. So we're so happy to be here today. We have 86 majors, 70 minors. One thing about healthcare at the University of Illinois, Chicago, or USC as we call it, is that we have a vast urban landscape, 4 hospitals on site, thousands of clinics. So it makes it very easy when you're in the externship level to actually get out there and make things happen. We have 32,000 students, about 22,000 undergrad, and an 18-to-1 student faculty ratio. Lots of fun things. We have concerts for students. You're located again in the heart of sports, concerts, etc. So we give you a U-Pass in which you can use that to get around to your externship sites or hospitals as pre-health students, or just go and have a little fun. We're near 2 major airports, and we're close to kind of proximity of everything downtown. So briefly, if you do stay, we do not mandate that students stay for even their freshman year in our dorms, but we have 8 of them, ample housing, and you get free laundry if you stay in our dorms. So each of you is here for a different reason, on desiring to help people improve their health, having a positive attitude to assist people, etc. So every one of you is here for a different reason. Just so you know, especially at UIC, we offer an academic advisor. So I want to make it very clear, you don't have to know how to become that dentist or doctor on your own. You're going to have a strong support system to assist you. So that's one thing I'd like to make clear. Again, we are known, there's literally a stop called the medical district because we have 4 hospitals on site. So we're an extremely competitive, one of the top 3 largest medical schools in the nation, but very competitive for students who are pre-majors or those going into a medical program. Again, you're not alone in the process. Some of our top programs that you may be here for are pharmacy, dental, medical, pre-med, occupational therapy, nursing is huge, nutrition, health info management. So there are a lot of new innovations in the health field. Just so you know, as a pre-med student, you will pick your own major, guys. You could be an art major or dance major. So just know that pre-med is kind of the core curriculum, but that you'll pick your major. And again, you're going to have an advisor who's going to support you in taking the MCAT, the PCAT, or any of the mandates that you need for your specific program. So I just want to reiterate, you're not alone. USC offers a pre-health program. The students are very supportive of one another. It's a very tight-knit group of students, even though we have a larger campus. So that's one thing to keep in mind. We literally have, every advisor, every club, 400 student clubs, just people there to assist you within this process. So diversity is very big at UIC to the point we don't even have numbers for it. Again, 18-to-1 student faculty ratio. These are some of our top majors. Again, 86 majors, 70 minors, but we're really big on research. We're tier 1 research. We have thousands and millions of dollars coming in so that you can be supported in this endeavor, lots of scholarship opportunities, and we're one of the top 200 tier research schools in the nation. Nursing is one of our biggest programs, our BSN program, and I can happily explain if you email me on the process for it. It's a little different as to first-year students and also transfer students. That's probably one of our biggest programs. Pharmacy is huge at USC. We also have an urban pharmacy education program. So we can give you this private information. Occupational therapists and physical therapy are two huge fields. And one thing about Chicago is we have all these major sports teams. So I know of a personal chiropractor who's made a business. He started working with the Bears, but there's so much that you can do if you're into the OT or PT field because of our sports opportunities. Just a little bit of information on them. We are NCAA, we have every major sport except for football. So we definitely are big on sports on the campus. You can apply via the Common App for first-year students. We do have application fee waivers if you need them, or if you're a transfer student, this is some information, but you would apply via a web app. But again, don't be afraid to apply. We do have ample financial aid scholarships. This is our FAFSA code 001776, and our merit scholarship is the top scholarship for my non-residents because it makes tuition comparable to what you might pay out of state for school. I would suggest for all of you, again, I've mentioned 400 student clubs, but I'm really big on telling students to volunteer. So these are letters of recommendation that will come in handy when you're applying for med school or dental school. It's an opportunity to get out there and experience things. So I highly recommend that you do volunteerism as much as you can. This is how to reach me. I'll put my items in the chat and I'm going to turn it over back to Sarah. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. Next up, we have Massachusetts College of Pharmacy and Health Sciences.
Thanks, Sarah. It's good to see you again. How are you?
Good to see you on.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Mass College of Pharmacy and Health Sciences, founded as the oldest school in the city of Boston and the oldest school of pharmacy in the country, founded nearly 200 years ago, operated as just school. That was, of course, until Harvard University built their medical school across the street from us. This area is known as the Harvard Medical Area of Boston. On average, it sees roughly $30 billion a year in research and funding. And when that happened, it really changed the complexion of what we did from just a pharmacy school to an everything medical school, allowing our students to do their clinical rotations and internships and research through Harvard Medical and their teaching hospitals. I'll just run through some of the more popular majors. In 8 years out of high school, you can be a doctor, a dentist, or a vet. In 6 years, pharmacist, PA, PT, optometry, occupational therapy. Our 3-year accelerated 4-year degree programs include dental hygiene, nursing, which is very, very popular. If you were to ask me what's the toughest class you have to take in nursing, it's definitely pathopharmacy. DMS, MRI, nuclear medicine technology, radiation therapy, and radiography. Pre-dental to dental hygiene, students can either go to dental school through our BS, Dual Bachelors of Science / to dental medicine and or pre-medical and health studies, which they can also apply to med school, vet school, and dental school as well. And or if they want to pick up a dental hygiene degree, that'd be 3 years with dental hygiene, 1 more year for dental school. All of our students do their clinical rotations and internships through Harvard Med and their teaching hospitals, just a few of the unique pathways there. Our students are surrounded with peer mentors, advisors who are their professors. They are doctors and healthcare practitioners, and they're available to students before, during, and after class. Whether you're majoring in pharmacy or PA or PT or optometry, which are direct entry right out of high school, or nursing, because of the Harvard medical area and the hospitals in which our students do their clinical rotations and internships through, our students are able to take advantage of areas in medicine such as HIV, cancer, diabetes, pediatric oncology, nuclear medicine, ambulatory care, drug and research development, diabetes, pediatric diabetes. Had a freshman in the cardiac ICU at Mass General, had a second-year student doing stem cell research at the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. All of our students have the opportunity to do the undergraduate research fellowship program through Harvard Medical School. 98% of them pass their boards, 100% get jobs, 80% go into med school, vet school, and dental school. We roughly hold on to 95% of our students. Had a senior last year working out of the Boston Children's Hospital, extracting DNA with a group of scientists and doctors to find a cure for cancers and seizures. She's doing a residency back home in LA this year at USC, University of Southern California. On average, our students come out on average earning within 10 years $116,000 a year. Please go into medicine because you want to do that. because it is a commitment, whatever it is, whether it's nursing or pre-med or PA or MD or dentistry. Although you are financially independent at the end of the day and you have a high return on your investment in terms of salary, superseding typically what you paid to go to school for, it's a commitment. So you should do this because you want to do it. Our students have the opportunity to study abroad as well. We're also a member of the Colleges of the Fenway, so students are able to cross-register at no additional cost, part of your tuition, at other schools within that consortium. So if you're majoring in medicine, you can minor in art, theater, drama, dance, and certainly many other things as well. Housing has come a long way, definitely since I was in school. Nowadays, you can opt for the traditional dorm setting, but you can also certainly have options such as suite style or apartment style, where you get your own kitchen and bathroom. I would do that, definitely. Free to apply, no application fee. Common App, SAT, ACT, optional. High school transcript, make sure you have biology and chemistry. The Common App has an essay. There's like several topics, choose one. We have a short answer supplement is why you want to become a healthcare practitioner, and letter of recommendation from a guidance counselor or math or science teacher. Again, the SATs and ACTs are not required. November 1, early action not binding. December 1, early action 2 not binding. Regular decision is February 1st. The financial aid free application for federal student aid opens up on October 1st. Coming up here in a few days. We're a private school, no out-of-state tuition fees, in which we provide $25 million a year in scholarships and financial aid, and over 95% of our students receive both. Our deadline to submit all that is March 15th. That varies by university, so just make sure you're in communication with those admissions offices, those schools that you're applying to. And then May 1 is the candidate reply deadline. No longer do you have to wait by the mailbox in terms of getting your decision with the username and password. You can create a portal. You can track the status of your application. Even though something will come in the mail, you'll be able to track the status of that application, whether it's the decision or certainly if you're missing a transcript or something. Snapshot of our scholarships, automatically reviewed, renewable each and every year through the undergraduate and the graduate part of the programs. Maintain a 2.5 GPA and above, and they're yours each and every year. I'm going to skip, I covered most of the main stuff. I want to skip to my contact information, which I also put in the chat, just so we can leave time for questions and answers and all that stuff. So take a moment, take a snap of that. Again, it's in the chat. And I'm going to pitch it back to my friend Sarah, who is going to take it away from here. Sarah.
Thanks so much, Alan. And at this point, I want to invite all of our wonderful panelists to come back on screen, unmute themselves. And we here at College2Career like to do a round robin Q&A, if you will. So starting with our first presenter, Pacific University, Oregon, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process?
Yeah, thanks so much, Sarah. I think this process can be really exciting, but also really overwhelming. So my advice is to just kind of take it one step at a time. And all of us here, the representatives on this call, but others as well, we are here to support you through each of those steps. So I know it can be maybe intimidating to reach out to us, but that's what we're here for. We want to help make sure that process isn't too overwhelming. So please reach out and let us know how we can help support you in this process.
Clarkson University.
Yeah. I use the same advice every time. I really like it. I think if you're looking for a university, make sure to not only focus on what you would think you want to major on, but also other topics or activities that you're interested in. So say, for example, you want to major in some kind of pre-health program, or you may be also interested in business, or do you like outdoor activities, or are there certain sports that you like to participate in? By broadening the criteria and things you're looking for on campus, it gives you a little bit more flexibility, because a lot of students end up changing majors, and this way you may be able to change major or augment your program without having to change campuses at all. So it makes it a little bit easier that way.
University of Waterloo.
Yeah, so my advice, I'll give some specific to healthcare. So I would suggest, if you're thinking of going into healthcare, look into your end goals and the schooling that you need to do for that, and then kind of reverse engineer it and work your way back to see what undergraduate programs or pre-health programs will meet those requirements of whatever your final goal is, because there are different requirements for different health professions. So that would be a good starting place. And again, just reach out to any of us if you ever are overwhelmed with that process.
Alaska Pacific University.
Yeah, so I will kind of tag along with Sue's advice. So besides like just obviously having your major is going to be very, very important. But one of the things, especially with some of these health programs, sometimes they can be pretty intense and the class is, really tough to get through and kind of a big academic load. And so it's really important, like she mentioned, as far as finding other activities or things that are going to help you when it gets stressful and you're feeling like you want to kind of give up. So looking that there's other things to feel supported as a community, to take a little break from the academics is sometimes to kind of balance it out. And so along with that, I would think about what kind of environment you like, whether it's a big campus, small campus, but even location. I had one of our faculty members said she went to a school in a place that was very landlocked and she was used to kind of the ocean, or she really liked being outside, and it drove her crazy. And she, just realized that was someplace that she needed to change to feel more like home. So kind of think about those things of what you want to be around and kind of your environment. And that will help, especially too, because you are going to be spending quite a bit of time there.
University of Illinois, Chicago.
Yes, so briefly, I would just say I've worked with a lot of nursing directors, so I'm just going to be honest. The reason I always reiterate volunteerism, sometimes they're not looking solely for grades, guys. So volunteerism is great. It's going to help build up your resume and just letters of rec. But sometimes that ambulance driver or that person who can handle health profession under pressure situations, that often is what they look for. So make sure you're augmenting with letters of rec and also volunteerism, because it's not just about grades.
Massachusetts College of Pharmacy and Health Sciences.
Yeah, I agree with all of my colleagues. The only thing I'll add, and they may have mentioned it, is, certainly if you have any questions at all, regardless of what you hear in your communities or this person or that person, and reach out to the admissions office. They'll answer all the questions that you need. Reach out to us. We'll answer those questions. I live in California, and I run into this a lot, especially with medicine. And, certainly everybody's mentioned this and touched upon it. They're these majors and programs are licensed by law and accredited. And so you really have to have, certain prerequisites in terms of transferring into these majors. If you get the opportunity to come out of high school in some of these direct pathways, and at the end of the day that's what you want to do, you should take it. I think Berkeley, for example, UCLA, they're great schools, but you can come out and get a degree from there, but all your credits may not transfer into, some of these medical programs. That's just something that we don't control. It's licensed by law. So even if you're thinking about transferring in, I would connect with us. We'll give you the curriculum, work with your academic advisors at some of these other schools, just to make sure that all your transfer credits and you can come in and graduate on time, and you're not running around re-enrolling in schools trying to get, the required coursework that happens all the time.
So starting again with Pacific University, Oregon, what's one thing you want students to remember about your school?
Yeah, I think the main thing I would like to say about Pacific is that, it's a really close-knit campus community, almost a family feel. So you're going to have that really strong campus community support throughout your 4 years, both from the professors, the staff, and your peers.
Clarkson University.
I would say actually pretty similar with Clarkson. We're kind of almost the polar opposite from the big California West Coast schools. We're a small university, again, very supportive, but also the weather is totally different, and a very small rural community. So again, just a big contrast to what a lot of students experience out here on the West Coast.
University of Waterloo.
One thing to remember in regards to healthcare is our professional schools of optometry and pharmacy, and we do have direct pathways into those, but just also knowing about our co-op program, and it allows you, if you're not sure, to try out all of those different careers in those health-related fields to figure out what you want along the way.
Alaska Pacific University.
Sorry about that. I would say I think probably the biggest thing is the emphasis on the cultural responsibility, cultural safety for our nursing programs. Just a little bit different focus, but that kind kind of some of the traditional nursing programs. But that's one of the things, really learning how to kind of navigate that and provide the best level of care. So, yep.
University of Illinois, Chicago.
I always tout that diversity is so diverse. We don't have numbers for it, but that's a great thing when it comes to healthcare, because no matter what you're majoring in, you know, having a diverse population and dealing with everything from the Veterans Affairs Hospital on our campus to our Children's Hospital is going to give you a wide range of diversity when you get out there and you actually decide what you want to focus on or the type of nurse or doctor you're going to be. So I think that's great that that diversity is there at UIC.
And Massachusetts College of Pharmacy and Health Sciences.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody pretty much said it. I'll only add that if this is what you want to do and you want to go into medicine, I came to MCPHS when I lived in Boston in 2009, and the housing market and auto industry crashed in America, and these kids still got jobs. They weren't affected by a recession, and certainly during the pandemic, our students were getting, you know, high-paying jobs because of the demand is there. Healthcare is always going to be there. It is the reason we're the oldest school in the city of Boston, because you know we focus, and all of us here focus on medical degrees that are always in demand. So if this is what you want to do, you're always going to have a job, and you're never going to really have to worry during recessions or pandemics. You'll always be employed.
Thank you so much. I first want to thank our wonderful presenters today for their time and their advice and their information on their institutions. And thank you all for tuning in. When you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 5-question survey. We'd appreciate any feedback you can provide. You'll be able to find this session's recording as well as all the other session recordings at college2career.org. We thank you so much for attending and have a great rest of the day.